Usually I don't put my voice over the ranked videos, but having played Mortal Kombat 1 for like 5 months and almost every day, usually on and off, but it's definitely taking its toll on me, and I had to get some of my thoughts out, or I'm going to end up jumping out my window head first. Mortal Kombat 1 is fun to play, but it's also really frustrating by how incomplete and also kind of bad it is, because you can see that this definitely has the potential to be the best Mortal Kombat. It also feels like we said that about MK11, but it feels like we're going down the same road. So I kind of just wanted to, get my thoughts out on just how I feel about the game, where it's headed, how it is currently, especially how it is currently, and just, talk. Just get this anger inside of me out. It absolutely is probably going to come off more as a rant, more than like cohesive thought, mostly just because this video doesn't have a script. This is more just off the top of my head, right? So, bear with me if I might say something that's incorrect or a bit more biased or something like that. It's just off the top of my head. I didn't have time to research all this, mostly just because it was just like to be a bit more organic. For me, Mortal Kombat 1 is just a really good game that just fumbles at every possible part. Number one is the Kameo system. I think that the Kameo system was not a bad idea, but they're just taking it in the wrong way. Because to me, I think they're just taking it in the same way Mortal Kombat 11 did, where I've seen a lot of people didn't like the way Mortal Kombat's meter burn system was, where you could react, take someone like Devora, where she could use little, like the back attack with her, not tentacles, but like spikes. I don't remember what they're called, but and react and just meter burn to make herself safe. Most cameos that are really good do that exact same thing, where if you know you're going to do something really unsafe, you'll just use Striker, or you just use Kano, or back then you would just use Cyrax, because you didn't want to, you would do something stupidly unsafe and not get punished for it. And that same thing happens a lot now. Look no further than the biggest criminal of this, or I guess the criminals and partners in crime in this, in Baraka and Raiden. They both technically have the exact same game plan, which I'll get into that in a second, but they both have the exact same game plan as they did back in the day. It's just, back then you kind of overlooked it because they did some of the most stupid damage like in the game. Like 50 to 60% off a poke it's stupid. That's not particularly fair, and they got nerfed, rightly so. But now it's devolved into an even more corny strategy of, down 3 or random poke into Storm Cell, or down 1 for Baraka into a whole bunch of into a Striker. And you can only go against that so many times, or get hit with that so many times, before you eventually get frustrated and get impatient. Now you're getting hit more and more. So now it just snowballs into this thing where you're tilted, so you can't play the game correctly anymore. It's not those two, at least in my opinion, are a completely unfun strategy that should not be the way they are. I personally think that they should be reworked in some way to where they actually have a genuine strategy that isn't one button into a whole bunch of chip. Because technically, Scorpion does this same exact thing, button into chip, but it's because most of whatever else Scorpion has is bad that people just say, it's not that good. Those aren't fun strategies. Those aren't unique strategies. Just one button into a bunch of chip is not a fun strategy for the Raiden or the person he's going against. It's kind of stupid. And then even then, I'm not gonna sit here and say that all the top tier characters are, perfectly balanced in themselves and they're unique, but at least they feel better. But in my opinion, I kind of believe that NetherRealm kind of hates cameos, or more accurately, they try to make every character as bare bones as possible, so that the cameos will make them a complete character, right? Where they will give a bunch of characters these very simplified game plans, and then the cameos will add the depth and the complexity to them. because I guess they feel like if you add a complex character on top of a complex cameo, you'll end up with a really balls to the wall game, or they just did not believe they could make enough depth at the cameo, at cameos to create, a genuine game with or maybe at some point in development, it was just supposed to be a tag mechanic where it was just a 2v2 and they realized that shit didn't work. So instead they used Cameo. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, but I can tell you it's kind of dull. Not even kind of, it's very dull going against the exact same cameos every single time. Like this problem was a big problem in the beginning of Mortal Kombat 1, where it was really annoying going against the same characters. Going against Baraka Cyrax, Raiden Cyrax, just those guys in online ranked or even just casuals. That was a problem and it got stale quick. To me, that same thing is happening with cameos, where it's like, it's really dull seeing the exact same cameos over and over and over and over, especially if they're used in the exact same way. Like, you can tell me if they were in a video, but I can't remember the last time I've seen a I don't think I've gone against a Shujinko yet. I don't, like, if I see Darius, it's with one specific character, Reiko. Everyone else does not use Darius. And I understand it's like, why use those if these other good people exist, which therein lies the problem. The fact that the lower end, in quotation, cameos aren't being used for whatever reason. Whatever the reason is probably because they just aren't very interesting, or they don't do, I won't say they don't do enough. More like their niche archetypal thing isn't all that interesting. How do you balance the cameos to be interesting how do you balance them to be interesting and unique? Because you could easily just make every single cameo have an ambush attack and boom, they're just Cyrax. You can just do Storm Cell in the Cyrax spin until the cows come home. But do you make every single one unique, but nobody uses them because you still have the ones like Cyrax and Striker, whereas it's like, well, I could use Sector who does this, but Striker lets me be able to, do a whole bunch of cornball stuff and I'm safe. It's a weird position. Not to mention this part really has hit home a whole lot in the past few days and past week and even the past month for real. NetherRealm, what is happening with the rank system? The rank system is so bad, I don't understand. Or the ranked experience, more accurately. What happened? You introduced the intros. Great. Why are the desyncs still an issue? And it's not like, oh, it's in the middle of the match. Sometimes when the round just starts, it desyncs. Sometimes in the middle of the match, it desyncs. And then of course, even after one match has happened, once you go into the next match, it desyncs anyway. Like, what in the hell is happening? Number two, why is the rank or the Wi-Fi filter the way it is? Like, it shows up what their ping is, and then you say yes or no to them. That's not inherently a problem, but the problem is it does not tell me what rank they are. So I have to end up going in there on blind faith that I am going against somebody at my level, when in reality I am going against somebody who is 2 ranks below me. NetherRealm, where is the incentive for me to play that match where I have everything to lose and they have everything to gain? Meaning, if you do know how to desync or get out of there without a loss, you're going to do it because who cares? That match is completely pointless to you. It is a waste of fucking time. What are y'all doing? All you have to do is let me see what rank they are, and I can choose. If they are my rank, I cannot choose whether to leave or not. But if they are below me, or if somebody's above me, they can choose to leave against me. If they are below me, I should be able to leave. Because that is not fair to me or anyone who's above in rank. That is some straight bullshit. It's not fun. First of all, it's not fun at all to go and, you know, you see somebody with you've gone through maybe 4 or 5 cycles of somebody with like 90 to 100 ping. Maybe you've hit somebody with 249 like I did. And then you see somebody with a really good ping. It's like 31. And you're like, oh yeah, this is it. And you go in. I am at God rank. And you see they're at like they at like master or grandmaster. And you got a rank down chance. You already at the middle point of God. You got a rank down chance because you win again. You're going against somebody who is so vastly below you. There's no incentive to play that match at all. It's mind boggling how they failed that part of the rank system. I don't get it. Everything else, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like not being able to change characters is kind of weird, but I get it. It's ranked. You shouldn't be going in there with a character you're unfamiliar with. But, you know, counter picking really should always be a thing, but I can understand it, right? I still do wish it was best of 3 instead of best of 2, but what can you do? Even just small stuff, just minute things, like why is the shrine still only 1,000 at a time? It's only marginally faster, but it's still slow as all sin. Why is it that slow? Who did this? Why could y'all not just go pay 100K, get a whole bunch of stuff? But instead you went with this really tedious option of pay 1,000, pause, wait, pay 1,000, pause, wait, pay 1,000, pause, wait. And it's just like this 50 to 100 times until you get everything in the shrine, and then you never go back there again. Speaking of things you never want to go back to, the invasion mode. Dear God, what a travesty of a mode. Now, I will go on record to say I would rather have invasions than the crypt, or at least the way the MKX and MK11 crypts were, because those were really fun for the first month you had them, and then you never go back there again because you get everything in them and it is now a completely dead mode. Whereas invasions, it follows that same way, but at least it's constantly updated with new seasons. Whereas in the crypt, it really ain't have that. The only thing that was cool about the crypt was going back and really sightseeing, seeing like Dead Goro, Kenshi, the Ermac skin that we never got. Seriously, why is that? Why did we get that skin? Also, would you guys please put that skin, the MK11 skin, in MK1? That'd be great. Not to mention, just the invasion mode as a whole is not inherently a problem. I don't hate the invasion mode. The idea of the invasion mode, at least. It's really just its execution. For one, it's very mind-numbing. Just run around and, oh, you don't got the key for this, so run all the way over here. Oh, you don't got the fucking leprechaun's left kneecap, time to run over here. Oh, what's that? You don't got the rabbit's toenails? Well, go over here. It's really annoying to go against, or it's really annoying to just keep going back and forth doing things and really going against pretty much the easiest bots you'll ever go against in your life. Even then, one of my biggest problems with the mode is, why do the bots have super armor? What is the point of that? You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me a lot of how Call of Duty Zombies was, or is, where the developers will just nerf things for no reason. Like, why are you nerfing things in a PvE game mode? Why in that same thought process goes in my head in this, where, or why are you trying to make the mode more fun for the AI than the player? Like, super armor is not a fun thing to go against. It really isn't, where your opponent is just basically tanking everything you're doing and doing the most, I mean, admittedly they don't do a lot of damage, depending, because I use Havik and he has a bunch of defense naturally, but it's just really tedious. It just makes the already boring mode more tedious, which makes me more irritated, which makes me not want to do the mode. Not to mention, the incentive to play this mode has to be one of the worst incentives in any game I have seen in the past 10 years. These skins in this fucking mode are so bad. And what I mean by bad is they're just generic. It's the same outfit, just different color palette. And the only time it's anything resembling interesting is the final skin. And that's it. It's quite literally the exact same skin, or the exact same skin you'd get in Combat League, just a little bit worse. The invasion mode, it has, let me say this, it has some very cool ideas. The whole Sub-Zero ice bucket thing, that was really freaking cool. The Sub-Zero thing where he smashes the ground and if you are hit by it, you instantly die, also really cool. Because that is at least interesting concepts being used. Hell, why this game has still refused to put Test Your Might as just a regular side mode is beyond me. I'll never understand it. I think this game has so much potential that it's just being squandered, basically. I do think, well, I will say a lot of the interest for this game is probably at an so far, an all-time low. It's probably at an all-time low for no other reason than this game is just losing a lot of its interest, or people are losing a lot of their interest in the game mode. I think it would be, or not even the game mode, people are losing interest in the game itself because the lack of updates, characters feel really samey, really generic. I will say I'm still enjoying the game, but I do wish that a lot of things were changed. And I'm sure, you know, NetherRealm is working. I hope they're working in the studios. I would hope they are getting paid to do that. So it's really just kind of frustrating because it's just like you have to sit here and just hope that the next thing they'll put out isn't absolute garbage. But like I said, this was more just like a rant. I just had to get my thoughts out because if I didn't, I was probably going to lose my sanity. And I probably didn't convey all my thoughts, or if the ones I did convey weren't as, you know, what's the word? A lot of them weren't as concise and more concrete than if I were to script them out. But like I said, it's more like a rant video, spur of the moment thing. But it's just I would like to see things be better. That's really all it is. I really just want to see the game actually take off and be better than it actually is right now. But it really looks like this game is going to die stupid fast, and that's what sucks so bad about it. But let me know what y'all think. I've been your boy Mementos, the only Havik man you need to watch. Peace.
Brutality. Havik wins.